It all comes down to this. April 26th, weeks of checking Instagram, the subreddit, the Discord server, Twitter, Facebook, anything for a glimpse of what's to come. And here we are in 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? I'm Tom.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Zach.
We're best friends, and you're listening to the Reminiscent Podcast. They say you can't choose your family. Well, you also can't choose which era of music you grew up in. This is a weekly show where we discuss our favorite bands from adolescence and how they continue to shape our lives today. Each week, we'll head back to the early 2000s and take a closer look at the cards we were dealt. All right, we are here. This is Tom. That's Pat. We have 2 minutes until midnight, the countdown of April 26th. We received the news a little early that it is a single called Me featuring Brendon Urie of Panic at the Disco, single and a music video release in 1 minute and 30 seconds exactly. How are you feeling?
Well, given the intro, not as excited as you, I guess. I'm very excited. I don't want it to be a point of contention. Had this not been occurring, I'd still be doing bad fake ad reads for Trivago. So I'm glad Taylor decided to do this so we would have some subject matter for the show, which is called Reminiscent. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. How are you feeling? Are you wearing the jacket?
I'm not, because it's hot in the basement, but I'm literally shaking right now with 57 seconds left.
Okay. Yeah, Tom asked me to scream for the intro, the beautiful thing he put together. I don't know if I can find where he's at. He's at 11. We'll get into it after everything drops and kind of explain more about the show and everything like that. But yeah, we're a minute out. It's exciting stuff. Where am I looking? Are you on Twitter?
I'm on TaylorSwift.com. We got 33 seconds and confetti flying all over the place. She's also doing a premiere on YouTube. There are 209,000 people waiting for this video to drop. I have my second computer open with a second pair of headphones hooked into that, so I'm ready to go in 16, 15,
Wait, can we just watch
14 seconds. Yeah, just go to her YouTube channel or TaylorSwift.com. We got 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god. Oh my god. Also, I'm buying all of her merch. Every bit of it.
What's available? What just changed? I think the site is probably testing every bandwidth possible right now. Right. My little blue bar just hit a little bit of it's taking a moment.
Okay. Oh my god, here we go. I got an ad. 15-second unskippable. We just got another countdown for 1 minute 45 seconds. How
do you feel about the social media? Like, I guess we'll get more into it, but the pastels, I mean, everything has been very carefully
her
pieced
branding,
together.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. People are calling it pastel pop. It's something to behold, for sure.
Is this going to be, are they going to indulge deeper into the pop world, or do you think this is going to be the return to form album that we talked about in past pods?
Yeah, we did see a photo today showing a little belly button, which I guess is new, and she had some serious fringes on her sleeves, which to me screamed return to form. But Brendon Urie, I mean, he's the king of pop. I don't know if you want to call Taylor the queen of pop. I will. So I can't imagine it would be this indie or this pop or country rock.
Is Brendon Urie the king of pop?
I mean, MJ's dead.
This quarter? Like, I mean, you got to give love to Michael Jackson and everything in terms of like if we're going.
Sorry, dude. It's live. I gotta listen. We'll be right back. Oh, a snake.
Look What You Made Me Do era has obviously vanished into a more pastel.
Is that French? Oh, there's the chickens. Oh, what a chorus.
Urie joins like Future, Ed Sheeran, and the Snow Patrol guy as most recent male duets, collaborations.
I think he's killing it, dude. This is duo of the fucking century right here. This is incredible. Wow.
Is there anything else expected to break tonight? Do we have Google alerts or something set up just in case we don't miss anything while we're recording and not checking Twitter and stuff.
Oh, dude, I have Discord, Reddit, and her website open. Oh, her store's open. You're about to hear me spend so much money right now.
I'm excited.
So, speaking of Discord, I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Chris. By the way, you might be asking yourself, what did he do to deserve this shout out? Just asked for it. That's all he really got to do. But anyways, what do you think about the dedication to the colors? What do you think about everything?
So it seems like it was pretty on the nose, her fan base, which is, we were talking about this before the pod, how it's allowed to be just an enjoyable thing all around, where she's allowed to make things kind of mystical, might be the wrong word, but leave little bits and pieces for people to try to. I brought up that episode of Parks and Rec where Ron Swanson goes into Leslie Knope's office and he's like, make sure you, next year for my birthday, definitely do not have this long line of bits and pieces and clues and puzzles for me to solve, leading in an ultimate thing that I would, and then he goes back in the room and it says, actually, please do that. I love that so much. And I think she knows her fans love piecing everything together, the clues and the Instagram posts. I think that aspect of it in the pastels and people guessing kind of correctly. There was we retweeted a Vulture article earlier this week that was kind of guessing that these might have been screenshots, these pastel briefcase type pictures, and the butterfly stuff in Nashville at the draft. They have that big mural of the wings and everything. So everything leading up pointed towards this, and it seemed like everyone just kind of enjoyed it. Which, other than Old Town Road with remix with Billy Ray Cyrus, this is another feel good musical moment for the spring that everyone, it seems like, just had fun being involved with. I don't know what is your immediate takeaway?
So, yeah, I've been sitting here with the Discord server open for the past 2 weeks, just like watching people talk about the buildup. I mean, people digging into code of the websites and finding out like who is privacy information of domains registered and when and where. And like these people are absolutely fucking crazy, dude. And it was like oddly inspiring that one person in the world can create something so beautiful that people get that crazy over it.
Do you own the calendar that had the little pressed fake wax things on the dates?
I don't. So like
that seemed to be the first like nugget of stuff. And then 13 days ago, obviously the number 13, we got that this was going to be dropping and everything like that. And people started counting the rhinestones in every jewelry photo that came out on, and some of that, it's almost like not even basic, but intermediate to advanced numerology going on to a certain degree, which I think is both impressive and just, you got to wonder how much of it is the art is created and then the lines are pieced together afterwards.
Sure.
Or how much planning, because it would take a considerable amount of foresight. You mentioned a lyric off of Reputation, and I'll let you say which one it is, that alluded to just the name of this song, perhaps album. Do we have an album name confirmed yet? I guess I wasn't looking.
No album name. I was kind of hoping for that. But yeah, a line in Reputation was, my reputation precedes me, which again might just be nothing.
Which I think Future delivers that line, right? Or I'm sure it's said more than once in that song. But
so there was this whole thing in the Discord server about this album was written before Reputation, and this is all speculation. And then the stuff happened with Kanye and Kim, so then that album kind of had to go first, but she didn't really want it to come first.
Yeah,
which is really interesting because that's kind of what you said. That was the first thing I thought of. You were like, this is a throwaway album to get to the next one, and that like all of a sudden made sense.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
It makes me sound like Nostradamus for sure, so I will accept it. I will accept every bit of that. So I'm curious. I'm trying to piece the timeline together in my head. I'm not going all the way back to the, Beyonce had the greatest music video of all time, Interruption at the VMAs, I believe it was. That was years ago. But this was also years ago. But Kanye, before the mental health stuff, had the music video where he's in bed with, I think, nude, is it plastic figures? But, there was the whole line about, I feel Taylor and I might still have sex and all that. And then there was the Kim stuff. And it seemed like Reputation kind of came out of this. What's that acoustic performance I always reference at the Grammy pre-party or whatever, where she plays Wildest Dreams on an acoustic? Either way, she discusses this fictional character that kind of blossomed in the Blank Space music video, even back to that. So it seems like it was almost a creative writing exercise the past several months. Did that feel right to you? This seems more like a self-expression of I don't know. I'll let you. I've been talking for a while, but this feels more like it's coming from a place of the fun of creating.
Well, there's also a lot of stuff of, again, maybe piecing together retrospectively, but her reputation died with the last album, and this is her coming back as like vibrantly, authentically her, right? The pastels, the colors, the dreamy music video. It almost makes me appreciate the Reputation era as much as I didn't like it.
Yeah. If the album does come up as Me ! Do you think, one, it'll be a reflection of her personality-wise that is not the Fabrication blank space music video character we've seen? And two, do you think it'll also be a reflection, if it is called Me ! The album itself, which was played up on social media heavily the last 13 days, do you think it'll also be closer representation of where she's at musically at the moment, and we'll see some of that more strummy stuff? This particular song, I think we're still living in pop, but between the collaborations, I think, is it going to be going in the studio to have fun and whatever feels good in the moment, or do you think it'll define just the personality or both music as well?
Honestly, I would love if it sounded exactly like 1989. Like, that's the era that I love. I don't know if she's going to push any limits musically. I mean, this almost seemed like even more pop, and that doesn't mean more watered down necessarily. I don't know if I said it. I loved the song, and the video was like out of control, amazing. I think it'll be an advancement of, she's happy. She's with Joe. She's in love. People were kind of speculating over either a pregnancy or an engagement announcement today, which would have been very interesting. But I think it's hopefully just going to be a true representation of just like, I'm writing the music that I want, because she's not on what is a Big Machine record label anymore. She's on her own record label, Taylor Swift Productions. So she's doing what she wants to do. I don't think the album would be called Me. I think it's fine for this song, and I actually appreciate the way Me and like the self-centeredness of it was used in the song. It wasn't just like this is me, love me for who I am, kind of. It could have been, I don't know. It was good. I like how it was played off. I kind of just want to watch it 1,000 more times. Do you want to get into the video or lyrically, or I can't think straight. I'm so excited right now.
Well, let's take it back to brass tacks here. This is, if you're just joining us, this is Reminiscent, right? Can we just start there?
Sure.
We are a show that takes a look back at the early 2000s.
Reel me in, Pat, please.
Music videos and songs, kind of My Chemical Romance and Taking Back Sunday albums is kind of where we started after 100 episodes of kind of catching up as good friends. But we realized we were a musical podcast. And then we found out that 2/3 of the time we stay true to that basic format. And then 1/3 of the time we talk about one of two different things. There's a clause for another blossom on the Blink-182 family tree, whether it be Simple Creatures recently with his All Time Low collaboration and things like that, or number two, if anything at all happens with Taylor Swift. So if you're listening to us now for the first time, that's definitely the camp you've fallen into. We're recording this late Thursday. This episode is the first time we've actually done a timely emergency pod. We've done a few on accident and have done a few that we thought were emergency pods that weren't. But yeah, so here we are. We are coming fresh off of our Netflix Reputation tour review. We reviewed that album as well. We did a Taylor Swift draft, if you want to check all that out. Tom, over the course of... So here, heading into this episode, this is kind of what I want to talk about before we go into the music video, maybe even watch it again and go lyric by lyric and everything. You wanted me to record a series of screams heading into this, but I think your fandom has grown so exponentially since talking about this on the pod. I was visiting a friend in Pittsburgh, and he said, how do the wives feel about talking about Taylor Swift so much? I was like, well, I think Tom and I are in different camps on that one, given the jacket purchases and things like that. Would you say you've become a certifiable Swiftie over the past several months?
I think the term these days is stanning, which is like, if you remember the Eminem song, Hit Me Back, Just a Chat, Truly Yours, Your Biggest Fan, this is Stan.
I believe it actually got entered into the Webster Merriam list this week. I believe. Yeah.
I've definitely, when we first started and you were like, oh, Red would be on my desert island, I was like, what? Really? Like, that seems so interesting to me. And
I love that album. And then we kind of riffed into an entire episode on the Katy Perry Taylor Swift stuff without researching it. And we both had plenty of takes. Like we could have probably gotten 3 episodes out of that. We could have mined that for much more content. But I guess we kind of organically fell into the fact that, oh, by the way, we're both super into Taylor Swift, or at least fans of her music. And there's stuff to talk about here for sure. And it's kind of come from that.
Yeah, it started off way more casual than it is now. And I think a lot of that is just due to the fact that I didn't know about the subreddit, this Discord server and stuff. And there's people who like really dig back into like everything that's happened over the past 10 years and kind of being, I guess, a part of that, even just as a casual observer of the community. I think you can't help but just like absolutely get super excited about everything that's going on. I've been trying to like buy all the albums. I bought 3 of the jackets that she wore in the 1989 World Tour.
In case anybody hasn't seen that movie, which you've gone on record to say that's one of your top 10 favorite movies of all time. Like out of a field that includes Citizen Kane, you are saying that the 1989 World Tour.
Yeah, I watch it on repeat over and over and over. And it's just so good. And the jacket, I mean, I love sequins. I tried to wear a sequins jacket to my wedding. It was sold out, so I wore a super floral one, which goes perfectly with this album. But when I saw her bomber jacket, it's a bomber jacket. It's got like the collegiate collars with the stripes and
kind of a letter jacket thing, except there's no high school letter sewn on. It's all sequins, which is kind of like a rainbow trout or a rainbow fish.
So it's called Navy Holographic is the actual...
that's a much better way to say it.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means still also, but I like the sound of it better.
So give me 1 second as I try to check out of her store here because it's
sure.
me...
And again, I'm not, or not again for the first time. I will say that I'm not trying to make Tom to be the wild fanboy here, but because Red came out the year I needed a breakout album or a breakup album. That was, I guess, almost 10 years ago now. And it hit me like a ton of bricks, and I fell pretty deeply into it and ended up loving it a lot and appreciating her music and kind of exploring the discography from there. She took a turn into pop after that effort, and Tom and I have talked about that and what that has meant to both of us over time. He obviously leans into the 1989 stuff more, so I'm actually anxious to see on this new album. Yeah, again, like I said, is me going to be, if that is, and it might not be the name of the album, but if this is a self-expression piece of art, both from the visuals to the lyrics to the music to the genre, I wonder if she's kind of signaling that she's going to stay poppy for a little while. Because there aren't a ton of guitars going around in any neck of the woods, right? I mean, I think kind of by accident, Weezer charted with the Toto cover last summer, right? I mean... People love to write about it, but it was like, well, there's just not a ton of rock or guitars other than, I mean, I think Taylor hasn't lived in the CMA world, Country Music Award kind of realm for a long time.
Long time.
Right. So maybe that's just the sign of the times, and this is what that album needs to be or sound like or kind of drift towards or exist in. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. I appreciate you talking there for a little bit. I was able to check out and buy one of her shirts.
Yeah, no problem.
So, yeah, I mean, we kind of did speculate on that return to country, especially after seeing in Reputation Tour the return of like the original form of Love Story. 1989, it was electric, really wavy, padded synths, the amazing backup singers doing work. And then in Reputation, it was banjos, it was mandolin, it was guitars. And I don't know. I mean, again, huge fan of 1989. I would be happy if she lived in this realm forever. People could criticize her for not growing and changing and developing out of pop because she's comfortable there and she does it well. But I don't know, man.
Well, I'll say this.
That's what I want.
Everything since Speak Now, or what was there were 2 similar real twangy ones after the first one. Was it?
Well, there's Fearless and Speak Now.
Right. So those 2 came, and then it was kind of became this, she writes about breakups and it's all immensely personal. Ever since the song Dear John, it seems, it's been all not reactionary, but the outside world has played a role in what came out. You know, especially we see that in Reputation, obviously. Red was a reaction to certain breakups, this and that, Jake Gyllenhaal, whatever. Reputation was obviously pushed ahead, it sounds like, from what you were saying, to like react to the Kanye Kim stuff. And Me might be the first effort in several albums to just... Or I guess you could argue Reputation also, or no, what came out most recently?
Yeah, Reputation.
That was Reputation? Okay, because it's almost like other than Look What You Made Me Do, that was really a boozy Falling in Love in New York album.
Yeah.
With a track on it with a snake in the music video. It was almost like she wanted to just create this lovey I'm me stuff, but had branding wise, it was genius to keep playing the blank space music video character.
But
now this album is kind of like, okay, legitimately, and this is what Reputation could have been, other than one song and a few storylines. This is legitimately, I'm even going to call it fucking me when we launch at midnight, which is interesting because, it'll be interesting to consume something that is kind of seemingly unprompted by the outside world, like the last several efforts have been, for better or worse. And I'm not blaming her for that. It just has played out that way.
It's really interesting you brought that up about Reputation, because I was very confused by the branding of that album, because it seemed really contradictory to what the rest of the songs were. Sans Look What You Made Me Do, and maybe this is why we can't have nice things. But she's like, oh, I'm this badass now, and I'm angry, and there's snakes, and my hair's kind of like greased down, and I'm blank stare at the camera. But then like the rest of the songs just totally didn't fit that. So if this was actually supposed to be TS6, and then she's like, wait, let's brand this as anti-Kanye, that makes a lot more sense of why it wasn't congruent with branding and actual content.
So like for me, if you had to go back and do it all over, or if, as a fan, to like call it what it is, call it what you want, call it what you want to, if you will. Sorry, that was stupid. But if we're doing a Taylor pod, so I'm going to lean into it fully because this is fun. But I think the Look What You Made You Do, you scrap it and then you make Delicate the premiere track, and you just fall into that really lovey, that music video is so easy to love and it's shot well, and it's just kind of like Dive Bar on the East Side, Where You At type flirty, falling back in love after all this, failed things and something's going well. And I don't know. It seems like ever since the music video for Look What You Made Me Do, and then there was that one music video with, was it the 7 or the 13 Taylors that BuzzFeed did the whole investigation about, where there's 7 of her in the music video? Oh, I think it is the Look What You Made Me Do music video, right? I mean, that was the peak on playing this character, which to me, it's almost like you should have left that at the end of the blank space music video, but maybe there was more to do there creatively on her part. I'm not sure.
I'm having such a hard time even thinking maybe this is a bad idea to do the show right after the video, because all I want to do is...
we should actually do the video and the lyrics. I mean, I'm trying to get in my head around where she's at, and I think we've probably just covered it, and it's time to move on. I think, yeah, I mean, do you want to watch it again and talk about it? I mean, we're talking about a ton of paint splashing, pastel-colored briefcase dancing. Brendon Urie, can we talk about going from the 9 PM music video where he's on a bedroom floor screaming into the camera to going to Death of a Bachelor music video where he's like smoking cigarettes as a lounge singer in an empty lounge, to kind of popping off on the radio more than he ever has with the most recent hit, High Hopes, which is a bit of a bop. I mean, I think it's safe to say if we're talking about pop.
I think Brendon has actually been one of the best rebrands in musical history, considering where he started off when we were in 9th grade. He ditched the whole band, went solo, kept the band name, and he just exploded. It's, I love everything.
Credit where credit's due. He kept after it. I mean, when we were in high school, it would be like, oh yeah, weren't they like a Fall Out Boy cover band at first? Whether that's true or not. It was just like this goofy act that could have been Hello Goodbye and nothing more, right? I mean, those two bands, Panic at the Disco and Hello Goodbye, were kind of this like weird poppy, feminine's the wrong word, but just like definitely not hardcore, right? These acts. But yeah, the Death of a Bachelor music video, we were watching that when you visited Cincinnati last. We were watching the music video for The Man by The Killers as well. And we were like, wow, all these 2000 acts are kind of having a moment or a crisis almost. And then Urie popped, and here he is in a music video with Taylor's launch. And I think I asked while we watched, is he holding his own? And you felt he was slaying, I guess, is how you felt. Not to put words in your mouth.
So I took my earbud out with you in it for a portion of that. I did hear you say that, and I think that they're a very good duo, like way better than I thought, since, I mean, he obviously is quote unquote the king of pop, for me anyway.
There was a moment, oh my God, yeah, you did say that out loud. I'm like, well, Yeah, maybe this business quarter.
But,
but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know
so
how many Mount Rushmores he's making. But
so he's got this like deep kind of lounge singery voice when he wants it to be. I wasn't sure how they would blend, and I think it was perfect.
yeah, someone brought up last week about worst band names of early 2000s, and somebody had written up or tweeted Panic at the Disco and stuff. But long way from there, and you can talk crud about the band name, but the dude has pipes for sure. I think that's always going to be true. Yeah, he did well. I mean, I think I don't know. You want to go lyric by lyric? Are they already up somewhere? Is my I guess,
oh
real
God,
question.
are they? I'm sure they are.
I'm sure they are.
Let's listen. Let's watch the video again though, and we'll give impressions on the video, the lyrics, the vibe, everything alone. I kind of want to paint everything in my life these colors in this video though. It's probably one of the most aesthetically beautiful things I've ever seen.
Well, I wanted to apologize for not yelling the way you wanted me to yell at the beginning, but I think we were both taking very different approaches to what we were about to see, I think. And I didn't want that to be a point of contention necessarily. Also, do you think she shattered her own Vivo record if she even held it at the time?
Well, let's see what she's at already. Yeah, she's already at 500,000 views in 28 minutes.
Not bad.
I don't know if that
okay.
includes the 400,000 people watching at the premiere. I don't know if that's true.
Okay. So Snake turns into butterflies, pastel brick roads. We're supposed to be either in Italy or France. You and I both took German. Just kidding. I took Spanish in high school. I believe it's French they're speaking. It's kind of this, would you say 1920s era couple based on the suspenders and the brick roads somewhere in Europe?
Sure.
Her cats are there, named after the SVU characters, I believe. She's kind of yelling as if she's in the Blank Space music video, but then she shuts the door and all of a sudden her demeanor totally changes. She has her eyebrows lift, right? I mean, it's just like it's almost like the music video starts off with a snake. There's an argument as if things are the same, but, you know, there's a pipe burst. She's jumping over the drama. Things are over in that way, it seems. It's definitely a shedding of, all of a sudden she's surrounded by clouds. And it's just different, right? I think right away they're just making a pretty big statement, right?
Are you watching right now?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, by all means, join in.
All right.
It's a little all over the place.
The video or the song?
The video.
I think it's all over the place in kind of a cool way. Like, they're just kind of throwing everything they have at it, right? Is that maybe
it's exciting.
The vibe?
Right, but I mean, like, in terms of, we talk about some of her best music videos, Blank Space comes to mind just because we were just talking about it. I don't know if it's on purpose or what, but it goes in so many directions at once. And then the paint at the end, you're just kind of left feeling like, what the did I just watch? You know, like the first time we watched, I was listening and, you know, you seem to enjoy it, I think. Is that fair to say, not to put words in your mouth?
I mean, it's like aesthetic porn for sure. Like it is just everything.
It's definitely Willy Wonka-esque.
But yeah, I guess the storyline or lack thereof is kind of all over the place.
Have you bought another thing off the shop as we've been talking?
No, there was only one thing that I really loved and had to have, and it was like quite a lot of money. So I'm saving up for those pit tickets. I hear they're like $1,000 a piece. So,
whoa.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a really promising start to this new era. Everything made sense, whereas the Reputation stuff didn't quite. I'm even more excited for it now than I was previously. This song is going to be just the hit of the summer for me. I can promise you that.
I don't know if it seems like a good pop song for me. I guess I'd have to, again, I hate these emergency pods for that reason. Do you want to do the lyrics real quick? I don't want to make the editing too hard for you on the turnaround.
Right.
I think we've talked about a lot about what we would have. But you want to touch on the chorus. You immediately fell in love with it. It sounds like as it was hitting your ears. Can we go over the words a little bit before we go?
Do we have them yet? Okay. Wow, they're already on Genius Lyrics.
I'm sure the Genius Lyrics they already have bad explanations lined up too. Like
oh yeah, dude.
So.
Yep. Oh, that's so good. Actually, there's some pretty good callbacks to previous albums. That's incredible.
Walk me through it.
All right, so it starts off, I promise that you'll never find another like me, which just the way that rolls off the tongue is incredible. I love it. I promise that you'll never find it. Like, dude, that flow is sick. Okay. I know that I'm a handful, baby. I never think before I jump.
So let me stop you right there.
Sure.
Is she embracing the fact that there was a little bit of the "look what you made me do" vibe within her with that line right away? You know what I mean? Like, she had to start this music video off to acknowledge that there's some of that in the world of the Me video.
Yeah, I think that was probably very intentional. Just like
right, like okay, so there's a sliver of one of the 13 or one of the 7 Taylors from the "Look What You Made Me Do" video is allowed to be that, and it does exist in there somewhere. Is she just admitting that outright?
Yeah, I think so. It was just like, I'm a lot, obviously. That's been known for a while. No secret. She writes about it. And then I never think before I jump, which there is a song of hers called Jump Then Fall. And again, maybe just the word jump is a common word and people are trying to tie things together everywhere, but it's kind of interesting. You're the kind of guy the ladies want. Brendon Urie absolutely is. And there's a lot of cool chicks out there, which is what her Instagram post was about with the baby chicks and the glasses on. Oh my God, dude.
Yes.
Love it. And of course, people are trying to find clues in all those. There was something about 5 holes in the fences in the back or something. Whatever, these people are crazy. I know that I went psycho on your phone. I never leave well enough alone.
Is it cool if we do this yet? Blowing up the phone and whatnot?
So, Genius Lyrics here also noted that Swift also expressed regret about how a phone call went in 2014's I Wish You Would, singing, "I wish you would come back, wish I never hung up the phone like I did." Okay, so there's a little different vibes between going psycho and just hanging up on someone. So
that's a bit of a... I mean, if we could do a whole pod on phone interactions that she's talked about. I mean, like, thanks again. I don't know. We could do a whole pod based off how Genius Lyrics has led us in wild directions while talking about certain songs. So, but we do appreciate that the lyrics are up there so fast. So thank you, Genius Lyrics.
Right. So trouble's going to follow where I go, and there's a lot of cool chicks out there. But one of these things is not like the other. Like a rainbow with all the colors. Baby doll, when it comes to a lover, I promise that you'll never find another like me.
And that's basically the chorus.
So that's the pre-chorus. Chorus is me, E-E-O-O-O. I'm the only one of me, baby, that's the fun of me. And then it switches into you're the only one of you, baby, that's the fun of you. And I promise that no one's going to love you like me.
Here's my question. There's this, and then there was Shake It Off, preceding the 1989 situations. Which was the more catchy, here's what I'm going to be about for the next calendar year song? Or better? Which are two different questions.
Right.
Which one was the catchier? Which one was the better, like, here's my for the next year and next tour and all that?
Interesting.
And which one was the better music video?
Interesting as well. Two of Shake It Off is one of my favorite songs. So
it's true. It's true. You did draft it pretty high up in our Taylor Swift draft.
They do both have the repetition in the choruses, which is pretty standard of pop music, just kind of reinforcing that hook.
I guess what I'm also asking is, this isn't going to be the best song off the album, right? We can presume that. This is just the catchiest, most marketable first puking of pastel colors into the universe, into the ether, to let everybody kind of settle in and brace for what happens next.
That's probably fair to say. I mean, usually...
Shake It Off wasn't the best song on 1989 by a long shot, I wouldn't say. Or, I mean, it's almost like it's built to be a good pop song. It's not built to be a great song, right? Does that make sense?
Well, they're built to hit the radio.
Like, Shake It Off, right. But, like, I know you... Well, here's the thing, though, because you really love Shake It Off, but I guess in my eyes, it's built to be a hit. It's not built to be one of the best Taylor Swift songs in my head. Do you feel the same way, or do you feel Shake It Off is actually in her legitimately like one of her best efforts?
Okay, so I think I mentioned this before. I don't think Shake It Off is one of her best songs by a long shot, but it's the one that like makes me feel the happiest when I listen to it, and I use music as like mood adjusters. And one mood that I need to feel more of is happiness. So that's why I kind of go back to that song a lot, because it's the one that makes me happiest, but I wouldn't say it's the best compared to the other tracks on that album.
Well, I'm also teetering on a thing I hate the most, which is like, how many records do you have to suffer through until you're deemed as having a good taste in music? You know what I mean? Like, if Shake It Off does make you feel a certain way, is that allowed to be the scale with which we judge music? You know what I mean? Like, is it allowed? Obviously, it's repetitive and catchy and built for the radio and everything like that, a good album release track. But if it does make you feel that way, is it allowed to be in your top 5 without any, not that there'd be shame involved, but you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like you get caught up in how, well, we have the Desert Island games we play on the show all the time, and you feel like you're going to be judged for, I think I gave my 5 albums and Red was one of them, and somebody was like, Pat, are you all right? So it's like, you know, how you feel about these things says a lot about you, I guess, but I lost my train of thought. I think Shake It Off might have been the catchier, better, more obvious thing for what it was, but maybe I'm trying to lump this, putting a square peg into a round hole on this one, the more I talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's this song, the first one of the album, is the one that's supposed to capture the most attention, and All Too Well didn't get the appreciation that it deserved at the time, and it wouldn't have. But
you
like,
read my mind.
That is like the best song she's ever written, according to everyone in the world, including Rolling Stone magazine, and according to us.
I don't know if I agree necessarily. It is so fucking powerful. I mean, you need like a minute to let it happen to you. You know what I mean? You can't just like be cool about it in an emergency pod. That's one of the songs where you're like, you listen to the album 7 times, and then like a couple months later, you're just like, you hear it again, and you're like, oh, you know, like, you're just like sitting there to hit you like a ton of bricks while you're driving somewhere alone, or you know, you're just like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ, you know, it just takes you to a different spot altogether. Kind of remember where you were when you heard it, what you were going through. It reminds you of a certain thing, and you're like, oh God. But I'm anxious to see what those tracks are, the second and third, you know, like what we're going to be exposed to as we move along. It's definitely set you up for excitement. It has achieved that. I don't know if I'm on board with you as much as like, I mean, it was a good music video. It's poppy, it's weird, it's fun, it's pastel. There's cats and chickens and clouds, and you know, it's good. I'm just, you know, I'm into it. But similar, I think we can sum this all up into the yells that you tried to edit to get to the beginning of the show, which was, I just want to hear it all, and I hate emergency pods. They're fun to do, but I also I want to dig into it and be accurate about it as much as I can. So I didn't want to like dive into it already excited. I wanted to let it happen to me, kind of, not to sound too douchey, but I'm just trying to explain to you, my friend, why I didn't yell for you earlier, basically.
Right. No, it's understandable. I mean, I typically try to avoid any kind of expectations because I usually feel like I'm let down. I don't think this one disappointed. I'm very excited. But yeah, I'm excited to see what like track 8 is, right? When I was working for my buddy Taylor, he always said the worst song you dump at track 8 because no one cares about it. So those are the ones I'm interested in. Obviously, the single that came out is going to be
I think All the Small
one.
Things was a track 8, was it not?
Oh, man. I don't know. I think was it?
Well, we'll do that show later at another time. This is all Taylor all the time.
Best
baby.
track 8s of all time.
That's right. Well, we'll do an album review when it all comes out, right? Is that fair to say?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like it or not, we're a top 5 Taylor Swift podcast, right? At this point, by accident?
According to Player FM or whatever, which just crawls keywords, but I will take it.
For sure.
Very exciting. Well, I fear that we didn't do this song justice as a proper reaction pod, but I'm too hyped to properly react.
Hoo, promise that you'll never be. You know, it's like, yeah, it's catchy pop song. But it's done its job. It wants us to, I'm excited to see what's next. I don't think it hit me in the fucking face like Shake It Off did, but it's still fun as hell. And, you know, the paint splashing, the fact that Brendon Urie was involved, like, yeah, that's fun. I'll take it. I'm into it. You know, I don't regret staying up to do this.
Right. For sure.
You know, it was fun. I don't think I'm like, wow, can do no wrong. It's just like, I am still having a ton of fun immersing myself in the Taylor Swift records, and this is going to be no different. And, yeah, it's nice. It's fun. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm excited. It's happier. There's no snakes. You know, the snake turned into butterflies. It's like, oh, phew. I was getting worried for a second. So,
right.
You know, there's going to be a fun vibe and a fun ride, which is tough because my favorite record came from the most pain. You know, my favorite of hers was the breakup record. So I'm interested to dig into something that comes from a positive place that isn't reactionary from the outside world and everything like that. So, yeah, this was nice. It was fun. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
Yeah, I like what you said about just a upbeat record not inspired by whatever drama or whatever, news cycle, whatever the snake exploding into butterflies, just like a total imagery of the past is the past.
Like in high school English when you read Moby Dick and they're like, so can you write, is there any symbolism in this book? And you're just like copying off your friend, like you can't say that the fucking whales thing. It's just like, I wonder if they're trying to say anything with the fucking snake turning into butterflies thing. Oh, God. But
man.
It probably says more about me as a student in high school than anything. But
Right. Well, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm going to edit the show because it needs to be live in 4 hours. And it's
pretty late
here now. But I'm glad that we got to watch it together. That was pretty fun. I'm going to watch it about 1,000 more times and spend the entire weekend checking my mailbox for that shirt I just ordered.
I'm excited for you to feel those feelings of joy, my man.
Appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, that's why we do the pod, to be quite honest.
John. Do you have a song of the week?
Well, I've been mentioning these people before, but now I have specific songs, right? So just because, like, in the past, I was like, oh, Jenny Lewis and Pup came out with new stuff, and I can't sign off on it, but that's what happened. So, like, today I get to say that Bruce Springsteen's coming out with new stuff, but I actually got around to listening to the Jenny Lewis album. I think last week I gave you Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and featuring Billy Ray Cyrus, the remix. I'm going to go with Morbid Stuff and Kids, the first 2 tracks off that new Pup record I recommended recently. But I'm also going to say Head's Gonna Roll by Jenny Lewis, the opening track on her latest effort that I mentioned a few weeks ago. Man, that is I think that's my official song of the week is Head's Gonna Roll.
Okay.
They say it's one of her most personal records. It is a gut punch, dude. Oh my God. It is quite something.
By Jenny Lewis?
Jenny Lewis, yeah. Head's Gonna Roll off of her newest album. Wow. Good stuff. Good storyteller, that Jenny Lewis.
Cool beans. Yeah, I had trouble finding one this week, actually, but I did manage to find kind of an indie artist, an up-and-comer, just put out a new song called Me. The artist's name is Taylor Swift.
Oh, my God.
I'll have to...
Is that even allowed? Well, I've recommended everything that is not a song on the show before. Pieces of media that just aren't songs, so you're allowed to do that. I am not one to talk in that department whatsoever.
All right, so Me by Taylor Swift. Very exciting. As always, you can find these songs and millions of others on Apple Music, which we are both, I think, pretty happy users of. There'll be a link in the show notes there for a 3-month free trial of Apple Music.
For the sake of the ads, yeah, Apple Music has been great to me. It has not wronged me or my family. So, I got no qualms. I have no active beef with any streaming service.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, thanks for staying up late with me and doing this.
Oh, literally my pleasure. Like factually my pleasure. I enjoy talking to my best friend Tom. So, the vibes are strong. And yeah, no hate to Apple Music. I don't know what of that you're going to cut, if anything, but yeah, peace and love in streaming services. That's a t-shirt that we'll start selling for sure. So I love you, man. And I'll catch you next week.
I love you too, man. See ya. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking through all the way to the end. Chris, if you're still there, what's up, man? How are you? So let us know on Twitter @_reminiscentfm what you thought about this song. I personally am loving the video. I stopped editing about 9 times to watch the video again. 15 million views in 3 hours. But we'll talk to you next week. Love you all. Bye.